Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a good Sunday. I had a long Sunday, an unexpected Sunday. But anyway, so listen. If I asked you, who do you believe in? Or if there was a poll taken on who do you believe in, what do you think most people are going to say? How do you think most people are going to respond? That's easy. They're going to say God. They're going to say God. Why is that? Because that's the dominant theme. Right? Right. Is that wrong? No. That's anyway. That's what's expected. But how about this? Ask them why. Because to say you believe is easy. But to ask why you believe, that's a different ball game. Now, you have to actually have to think. You can't just, hold on to, I believe. Why do you believe? Okay, that's not a good or bad. That's just an observation of how people get down with their belief system. Nothing wrong with that. So the other thing is this. Why are there people who don't believe in God, in God? If you took a survey and asked everyone, most people, a small amount of people are going to say they don't believe, but ask them why they don't believe. I think the answer to why they don't believe is the culture, societal. The imagery is strong enough and people are informed, and in the information they subscribe to, there is no God. They subscribe to, there's nothing out there, which is kind of a foolish statement to make. Obviously there's something out there if you know anything about science. So, but let me ask you this, and be honest. When someone tells you they don't believe, do you feel like they're less than you? Most of y'all probably gonna say no to hide, but the reality is people who don't believe get castigated. They get looked at as funny because the feeling you get behind it, you're attached to that belief system. Here's someone who isn't, so doesn't care for it and tells you, no, I don't believe. There's no hesitation. And if your response is in your thinking and your feeling is something's wrong with that person, then to an outsider, to a third party, something must be wrong with you. You're the one with the belief system. You're the one with the system. That person don't have a system, right? Or is it just a non-belief system? I think a person don't believe because of what they see happening in reality. Innocence. All of this bad is happening by this omniscient, invisible, purposeful being allowing shit to happen. The other thing I think is their understanding of God. Because a lot of people attach God to that white man on the cross and call him God and Jesus. Trinitarian mentality. So if that's the case, then it's like, well, wait a minute. How's this pale man that was on the cross running around in an area where no white people are? In Egypt. I'm not talking about Egypt in 2023. I'm talking about Egypt thousands of years ago. They looked a lot different. They were a lot darker. They weren't mixing and, like they are today. So, so it always brings the race factor up because of how people believe in this country. Like, if you look in religion, they paint it to look like them. Angels, white, prophets, white, everybody white. So it's such a common thing that you don't give a second thought to it. But if you ask Blake who he believes in, I'm not going to hesitate and tell you me. When I'm dead from this world, Nothing else counts. Nothing else matters. It's over for this world. What else is out there? I don't know. No one's come back to say. I have no reason to deny it because of that. I have no proof neither, which brings me back to the second part. Do you feel like having faith in things hoped for? As I think that's a biblical quote. Faith. Is faith real? Just, is that the same thing as blind belief, or faith, blind faith? What the hell's the difference? I don't know. I never really discussed those two parallels. But just something I was curious about. But I do know that I've heard so many discussions about this and about that. But look at like Islam. I kind of look at the ignorant American typically like the ignorant American when it comes to something outside of something he's not used to hearing, like Islam. Oh, they believe in Muhammad. Well, you believe in Jesus. Does that make you better because you believe in one and she believes in the other? It's impossible. There's no way that you could prove anything like that. You're better than that person because of your belief system. That makes no sense. That's what's got everybody messed up today. We believe in things in the name of because our ancestors told us to, or we followed that tradition. So again, it's language, it's how you look at that. You know, who do you believe in? I used to get slick and say something like, I believe in the 9th letter of the alphabet. That was just like, well, what's he mean by that? Well, if you can count, it means I. That's what it means. I'm speaking mathematical science when I make that, or alluding to it, but not to get lost in anything. I believe in me. I bear witness to me. Does that mean nothing created this? Of course. You can't just out of nothing something appear. There had to be a life force, or however we may understand that force of life to be. In some religious circles, we just say be, and it is. I think that's like that in the Islamic tradition. You know, not as in magic, but be, and here it comes. You know, and it happens. So yeah, just a little something I was thinking about as I was driving. I think about a lot of different things that we are so accustomed to, and we don't give a second thought to. We don't know. We just kind of just fall in line with it. We do it because those before us did it. That don't make it right, which means information, being informed about things, you know, means you begin to go against the tide. And sometimes people that are close to you, like family members and friends, start to look at you funny, you know, and it's unfortunate because that shows you the mentality of people, how we think. There's so much stuff that go on that we don't even pay attention to. Like, we're so conditioned to how we live in this country that we don't think that we can live any differently, or live this life living any differently. You know, look at TikTok, for example. TikTok in China, they get education on TikTok. That's what TikTok is, education. TikTok is information. In China, there's a lot of schooling going on. In China, there's a lot of discipline going on. Here, we get the garbage. Look at TikTok here. Look at Chinese people. You ever talk to somebody that's Chinese? You really try it. The same conversation that you and I are having, have it with the Chinese person. Listen to them. Listen critically. Just listen. That's a strong suggestion I have. You got a coworker? Talk to him about what you would normally not talk to him about, and see what he says, or she says, or they say. Hopefully they're not too messed up by Americanism. But yeah, TikTok, we get the garbage. That's why you see a lot of garbage on TikTok. Of course, it mixes a lot of stuff in there, but China ain't doing that. No, their kids are learning something. Education. Not education, but education. Like, look at Kraft Singles. That's what it's called. It's not called cheese, even though if you looked at it, you in your mind you would say cheese. It's called Kraft Singles. The reason why it's not called cheese, because it's not what makes it. It's made up of a bunch of other stuff and some kind of coloring to make it orange or whatever color it is. But it's not cheese. It's mainly milk and coloring. That's why it's called Kraft Singles, because it's not cheese. Yep. It's not cheese. That's why they don't say cheese. Kraft Singles. Whole bunch of other shit, mainly milk, whole milk, as a matter of fact. I think it's whole milk and coloring. Now, cheese, there's a cheese that's made in Ireland. I forget the name of it. There's some butter that's made in Ireland. It just tastes different altogether. I particularly eat that cheese. I forget the name of it, but yeah, China TikTok, American TikTok. Cheese versus single slices of what looks like cheese. Yeah, but it's funny though. But you know what? It's good to know. You know, those aha moments. It happens all the time. When you read, if you read a page or something every day, all of a sudden that's gonna unexpectedly get manifested to you by other people, or by a thought that comes up, or by a conversation that you're having with yourself, whatever the case. There's all kinds of stuff. We eat stuff because we're hungry. We eat stuff. The main stuff we eat is what's advertised to us the most. Fats, greasy foods. Yep. Look at all those cereals with 100 pounds of sugar right there in your face. That's the first thing you grab. Imagine that. Imagine being told or implied, you know, there's a meme on social media, and a robber walks into a bank and says, with a gun, the teller says, wait, give him the money, he's a robber. The robber says, and I'm paraphrasing, robber, wait a minute, you just called me a robber. I'm not a robber. How dare you? How dare you? I'm a letter. Or something to that effect. Then he pulls his phone out and starts recording the person. So it's like, we're gone. And we're being murdered, slaughtered face to face. You can't see it because you're so busy stuck on your iPhone on the TikTok level, when I say iPhone, versus the higher end being informed and challenging with the very thing that you believe in, the very thing that you eat, the very thing that means the most to you. Is it keeping you stuck or what? Think about it. There's so much shit that goes on, that go on in this country on a daily basis. It's like a religious ritual. Like at certain times of the day, we take food and throw it away. We take thousands, tens of thousands of pounds of food that you would eat the next day. Businesses throw it away. So When I see people sing songs about feeding people, I see commercials about feeding someone that's hungry, I look at these businesses who waste so much food. I mean, I'm affected by the same thing the next person is affected by. But at the same time, look at it. Own it. Look at it. And when people are missing something, back to God. Back to spiritual relationship. People are missing something. That's why we're always looking. We're not satisfied. We're hungry. It's the new car that wears off. It's the house that wears off. It's sex that wears off. There's something. Everybody's looking for something, but you look at the people that have everything, they're looking for something. It's a disconnect with your higher disciplines, I would say. Just something I was thinking about. You know me, I'm just like, it's Blake, gone again. All right, listen, I'm out. But I hope I get some responses from this so we can continue to have dialogue and push the boundaries, elevate. It's fun when you can have a intellectual conversation with people. Get to know what you're built like. Get outside of your area code. All right, I'm out. Word.